What up, faggots? Just saw the movie Bros. It was kinda gay, not gonna lie. Bros was one of the first gay rom-coms produced by a major studio, and it's exactly that, a gay rom-com. It's very gay, it's very romantic, and it's so funny. I laughed out loud, like belly laughed out loud so many times throughout the movie. The best thing about the movie is its comedy. Billy Eichner, who you probably know from Billy on the Street, who runs around and yells and shoves microphones in people's faces, and sometimes it's really cringe and awkward, but most of the time it's hilarious, and he has, a bunch of celebrities running around with him. He co-wrote the movie and also plays the lead character, Aaron, who is a podcaster. He's a podcaster in the very first scene, but he spends the rest of the movie being on the board trying to get the first LGBTQ plus history museum open in New York City. So he spends most of the movie, trying to get donations for that, and that's his external goal in the film. He meets, what the fuck is his name? He meets Aaron, played by Luke McFarlane, the very schmexy Luke McFarlane. Straight passing, not really flamboyant, chiseled kind of gay, And so most of the conflict between their relationship is, Billy Eichner is very loud and very, very gay and, has to talk about gay history, to everybody, everywhere, all the time, all at once. Not only does this movie follow every single romantic comedy cliche that you could possibly think of, it also follows every single gay cliche that you could possibly think of. Like I said, Aaron is a very, not closeted gay, but just one of those people who's please tone it down. My parents are coming to town. Just don't be yourself. Come the fuck on. But yeah, follows a whole bunch of rom-com cliches. Like there's a jealousy subplot. There are tons of happy moments in this relationship, but obviously they had to throw in some drama. I obviously still really cared about their relationship. There had to be drama because you have to care about the characters and you want them to be happy. So it's a way to get you sucked into the movie. Billy Eichner was a great main character. He really put himself into the role. He was basically just playing himself. If you've seen any of his work, he's just playing himself. But the character he played, was separate enough from his real life personality that you were like, okay, this is a fictional character he's playing that a lot of gay guys can see themselves in. The most emotional part of the movie for me was when he had a monologue on a beach, talking to Aaron. Basically just him going on about, despite me having supportive parents, everyone else, especially in my career, I'm too gay. There's not a big enough audience for what you're trying to do, but I still stayed true to myself no matter what, and I'm happy with who I am and the work I've done, and that really got me in the feels. That was a great monologue. The filmmaking, it's just fine, but this movie didn't need to have super extravagant cinematography and, editing and stuff like that. There are still lots of great moments. There's a really beautiful shot of on the beach. There's a great little pan up moment in the museum when Billy Eichner's giving a speech. Lots of great songs in the movie. There's an Orville Peck song in it, Gay Cowboy. Woo! Speaking of gay cowboys, the movie talks a lot about gay history erasure, bi and pan erasure, which I'm definitely an advocate for not happening. Talks a lot about, how the big gay movies are all played by, straight actors. As important as those movies are, everyone's heard of Brokeback Mountain, even if you haven't seen it. Brokeback Mountain is a near perfect movie. It's a fucking beautiful movie, and it is so important and had so much love and passion behind it, and it will stand the test of time forever. Now is the time where, if there's going to be gay movies, why not have gay actors in the roles? And they mention it in the film a lot. Straight people don't really care if they're happy, there has to be drama. All of those gay movies end in tragedy because, they need people to care, And it's a hugely satirical film as well. It makes fun of every single type of gay person. A lot of the editing is super hilarious too. Like, there were at least 5 different occasions where a character says they're not going to do something, and then it immediately cuts to them doing it. Like, they're in the club, and Billy Eichner is like, "Wow, you have a lot of very cliche views on gay people. Like, we don't just dance around without our shirts on." Immediately cuts to this big ripped gay guy, you know, dancing in the club. Billy Eichner's like, yes, I have to give a speech, but I'm not going to use that speech and my relationship with famous celebrities to, you know, impress my boyfriend. Immediately cuts to him on stage going like, "Thank you, Doja Cat. Thanks so much for coming." It was really hilarious. The best part of the movie was its comedy. It was so hilarious. Like I said in the beginning, I laughed out loud so many times in the movie. And I'm not usually a type of person to laugh out loud in the theater especially, but it was just so funny. And, you know, I just wanted to make myself heard. I don't know if the other people in the theater were gay, but they were all laughing out loud throughout the entire movie, and I wanted to laugh out loud too. I was in the front row and I was going the whole time because I wanted them to know I was there and having a good time and being fruity and faggy. And there is a lot of steamy sex in the movie. Not as revealing, I guess, as I would have hoped for, but there were a lot of very romantic and steamy sex scenes. There were a couple orgies. It was kind of hot, but they threw in some hilarious stuff in there. And honestly, sometimes that kind of came at a disadvantage to the film, because that monologue Billy Eichner was giving on the beach, whenever it cut to Luke McFarlane, shirtless Luke McFarlane, I was just like, looking at his nipples. I was like, well, damn, I'm trying to be invested in this monologue, but I was just like, every time it cut to him, so. And there were a few times where there were like really emotional beats, but then they had to throw in a joke. I mean, but yeah, like, I'd say that the film's biggest disadvantage were the very cliche steps it followed. Like, throwing in the drama in their relationship. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, do we really need this drama right now? But it was whatever. Sometimes where they could have communicated better, you know, miscommunication in movies is so annoying. I also forgot to mention just how accurate it is with how awkward and unsatisfying it can be to hook up. Like, Billy Eichner accepts a gay representation award, and then it immediately cuts to him on Grindr. And he's exchanging messages with all these people, you know, and it's just like, hey, what's up? Not much. Show me your ass. And then, like, goes to hook up with some guy, and it's just totally unsatisfactory, and those moments were pretty funny, and yeah, it's very accurate. It also does a lot on discussing, you know, exposing kids to gay history. Now, whether or not you think your kids, you know, should go to a drag show or, like, see a whole bunch of butt sex is not the point of it. They absolutely should be taught about gay history and accepting others for who they are and accepting yourself for who you are relatively young, so they don't grow up closeted and bullying each other. Obviously, do not take your kids to see this movie. There is a lot of steamy sex in it. Teach them to accept everyone for who they are. It's just really not that hard. And also, this movie was not made for straight people. This movie was made for the gays. I occasionally try to expose straight people to gay culture, gay movies, gay history, stuff like that. Terminology, if they're ever confused about stuff, you know, I want to help people understand. But this movie was definitely not made for straight people. Like, if they wanted homophobes to watch this movie and, you know, be like, oh wow, gay people really aren't that bad, this movie is not gonna do that for them. If anything, they'll just fucking hate us even more. Because, like I said earlier, it makes fun of and goes over the cliches of every single gay person. Like, Billy Eichner is kind of annoying in this movie, and he's very loud, and he's basically the gay Good Will Hunting. He's very insecure of himself in terms of he doesn't want to get close to people. He, you know, tries not to have very intimate relationships because he just expects the worst. He expects no one to love him for who he is. He expects heartbreak around every corner. And again, he's very loud and very, very pessimistic. He uses every opportunity to make fun of somebody or expect the negatives. And, like, the board for the LGBTQ plus museum are are like always fighting with each other about what they want to do, and there's this one bi guy who has to let everyone know that he's bi and has to let everyone know that Lincoln was maybe bi. And it's just like, oh my gosh, you know, you guys are so annoying, but it's hilarious and it's true. But yeah, the movie was made for the gays, and it's not afraid to shy away from that. Just like a lot of the characters in the movie is super proud for what it is, and I'm sure it'll make tons of money. It's fucking hilarious. Great performances, a great lead performance from Billy Eichner, for sure. A great script co-written by Billy Eichner. Amazing comedy. Somewhat annoying cliches, but the movie was exactly what it needed to be. Wish it could have gone just a little bit further, but I had a great time watching it, and highly recommend it to anyone who wants to see a comedy, wants to see some romance, maybe wants to be exposed to some gay culture a little bit. I could see this dominating the Golden Globes. I really expect it to be nominated for picture, comedy, screenplay, Billy Eichner to get a nomination, maybe the song that they wrote for it at the end. Yeah, that's really about it. If you want to see a good rom-com, go see Bros. It's hilarious. See ya. Mwah.